on the Hawkeyes Sports Network. From Learfield, live from View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. This is Hawk Talk, brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Your local Ford dealers, Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and Iowa Corn Promotion Board. You may think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa football. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Also brought to you by Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. By University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Cellular, built for the Hawkeyes, built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa Farm Bureau, who would like to remind you to support America's farmers. Check out AmericaNeedsFarmers.org. And by Authentic Brand, the label you wear makes a difference. Step up your game day looks and everyday style with Authentic Brand. Here is your host, the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My, oh my, where has the season gone? Iowa football reaches the halfway mark of the 2023 fall season schedule by hosting Purdue on Saturday afternoon over at Kinnick Stadium. It's homecoming week. We've got a lot of students here tonight getting a little early jump, a little early start on the homecoming festivities. Friday night is late Friday afternoon is the, as always, giant homecoming parade. And what a treat to have Iowa's only two Sullivan AAU award winners as the parade marshals. That would be Caitlin Clark, who was awarded the Sullivan a couple weeks ago, and Spencer Lee, the outstanding great wrestler for the Hawks, who copped the honor back in 2019, if memory serves me correct. So that will get the weekend started. And then, of course, on Saturday afternoon, it is Iowa-Purdue homecoming football over at Kinnick Stadium, another sold-out house, as the Hawkeyes at 4-1 and 1-1 in the conference welcome the Boilermakers, who are 2-3, likewise 1-1 in Big Ten play. Purdue ambushed Illinois at West Lafayette a week ago. Brett Bielema's former defensive coordinator, Ryan Walters, is now the head coach at Purdue, and he'll bring his old gold and black crew in here on Saturday afternoon, thinking upset again. But of course, the Iowa defense and special teams will have something to say about that, especially Cooper DeJean, who is the Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week, and Nick Jackson, the co-defensive Player of the Week, for his wonderful effort. He's actually had two great back-to-back games, double-digit tackles, but he also forced a big fumble late in the game on Saturday night when the Hawkeyes held on to defeat the Michigan State Spartans 26-16. So another big week. Looks like the weather is going to be turning, certainly for more toward the chilly side versus what we had last Saturday and the early part of this week. They're calling for highs maybe in the mid to upper 50s and wake up Saturday morning with the temperatures perhaps in the 30s or low 40s. So that is quite a reversal of fortune as to what we've enjoyed, if you like the heat, that is. And not everybody does like the heat. But this is more Big Ten weather, shall we say, in the 50s. Kickoff is 2:30. Not a night game this week. 2:30 Saturday afternoon. That means we'll join you with our pregame coverage starting at 12:30 from Kinnick Stadium. We're joining you. We're glad you're joining us tonight from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City at the Hilton Garden Inn, 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn. Come on up. We've got room for you. If you're in the neighborhood, please stop by. Immerse yourself in an invigorating environment with comfortable, contemporary indoor and outdoor seating. High-definition televisions for watching the game, any game really. Looks like the Twins have eliminated the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League playoffs. And I know Texas has defeated Tampa, so those are the two games. There'll be a couple more games tonight, including the Phillies will be in action again, so we'll keep you up to date on the scoreboard there. But they're all on the big flat screens here at View Rooftop. Of course, they are your spot. If you can't get to the game Saturday, please come to View Rooftop and enjoy coverage of Iowa-Purdue right here. The camaraderie and celebration of homecoming you can enjoy it with a toast at View Rooftop here in the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. Call for reservations at 319-519-4650. 319-519-4650. Coach Ferentz will be along a little bit later as he gives us his synopsis, his review, recap of the big win over Michigan State last Saturday evening, and then, of course, the look ahead to Purdue and his Club Car Wash keys to the game. We want you to check in and ask Coach a question or throw a comment his way on the victory last week. You can do that on Twitter. You can reach us on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. Again, on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. Or on Facebook. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. We thank KCRG, as always. KCRG Channel 9.2. Erin and her staff are here again this evening, bringing the program to you live on KCRG 9.2. We're also on the official Iowa Hawkeyes YouTube page. So there's no excuse not to join us for Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. We'd love to have you here in person, but if not, you've got several avenues to tune in across the vast Hawkeye radio network, 55 stations strong, or catch us on the YouTube channel along with KCRG 9.2. So the Hawkeyes will have a new quarterback. They had a new quarterback for most of the game last Saturday when, sadly, Cade McNamara tore his ACL in his left knee. This young guy just can't catch a break. He's had a number of injury setbacks, and here's a guy who led Michigan to the playoffs just a couple of years ago. So we're not going to see Cade anymore. He was never healthy 100% anyway. When you throw in the quadricep injury, the soft tissue injury, and now after rehabbing the knee from a year ago when he injured it at Michigan to tear the ACL and the left knee, it's just not fair. But football's a contact sport, a violent game, and sadly, the irony here is Cade was not tackled. He tried to plant that left foot, and it just didn't give, and the turf caught him, and down he went in a heap as the Hawks were trying to climb out of the shadow of their own goal line. But over 4 quarters, the Hawkeyes were able to get the job done behind Deacon Hill. Deacon the Beacon, he came off the bench and provided a heroic effort, I thought, very courageous effort on Deacon's part for the game. Hill ends up completing 11 of 27 passes. He had 1 interception, sacked once, but threw a touchdown to Eric All, which was huge. As usual, the Hawkeyes love their tight ends, and this young man can really flip the football, and he's got some good targets, in particular Eric All. The wide receivers, Reganey, Deontay Vines. Deontay had three catches for 35 yards. Nico caught a couple. Steve Stylianos also made his presence felt. He had 3 catches for 25 yards. And what I loved about Eric All and Stylianos was yards after the catch. Eric All had 67 yards on 4 catches. 58 yards came with the football on contact. So he really carries the mail once he puts it away. Stylianos, the same thing, 22 yards after the catch. 25 for Vine, 17 for Reganey. So the point is, great effort by those receivers and tight ends. Torrey Taylor had another outstanding night, of course. Averaged almost 50 yards a punt. He booted it 7 times, an average of 48.9 with a long of 60. The air must have been thin because Michigan State's kicker set a new Kinnick Stadium record with a 58-yard field goal as the first half expired, and it was 16-10 Hawkeyes at the break. And then Iowa outscored Michigan State handily in that second half and got the victory 26-16. Iowa still trying to find itself on the offensive side of the football. The Hawks were able to rush for 61 yards on 27 carries. Hill, as I mentioned, threw for 111 yards. Of course, Cade McNamara was a non-factor, 3 of 5 for 46 yards. So the Hawks put up about 150 yards in the passing game, total of 220 322 yards. Michigan State put up 350, but for the 19th consecutive game, the Iowa defense held an opponent under 400 total yards. That's terrific stuff there for Coach Phil Parker. Iowa's allowed one touchdown or less in 4 of the first 5 games this season, and the unit has allowed a single touchdown or less in 13 of the last 18 games dating back to the start of the 2022 season. And really, the Iowa defense did not allow a touchdown Saturday night. Michigan State's only a 6-point score was off a Hawkeye fumble. So the defense continues to hold serve. Special teams are terrific. Of course, what can you say about Cooper DeJean, the Big Ten the special teams player of the week? He was spectacular and will continue to be moving forward. We'll hear from Cooper later on this evening. We've got thoughts from quarterback Hill on Purdue's defense. Well, LaShawn Williams has been running hard. The Iowa run game, it's not through a lack of trying. They've really been getting after it, trying to pry through the smallest of holes and hopefully run through wide gaps. But the injury bug is hitting the offensive line as well. Connor Colby hardly played at all. He was forced into the game late the other night when Nick DeYoung got hurt, arm, elbow injury. He came out, didn't return. We'll get the updates from Coach Ferentz as to where those young guys all stand in terms of playing this week. Doesn't sound like Jazz Patterson will be able to go at running back, but perhaps Caleb Johnson now is healthy enough to play some snaps. Again, we're at View Rooftop, downtown Iowa City, high atop the 12th floor here at the Hilton Garden Inn. We invite you to come on out and join us. At some point tonight, we're going to pick our favorite authentic brand Hawk Talk Show winning question or comment. And so, again, you can reach us on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook at Voice of the Hawks. Let me get that right so I don't. Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. And at the end of the evening, we will pick perhaps your Twitter post or Facebook question, and you'll win a box of merchandise, a Hawkeye merch pack from Authentic Brand. We're brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light. Coming up next, we're going to shift gears for a moment. Beautiful weather out here for cross country and track and field, and we've got Representative Coach here to talk about Randy Hassenbank is his name. Works for Joey Woody and that outstanding track and field and cross-country program the Hawkeyes have going across the way. And we'll talk with Randy in just a minute, get the lay of the land as to what's going on with Hawkeye track and field. That's next here on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from View Rooftop on Learfield.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing US Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to US Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I thank you.
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus, all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender member FDIC.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa corn checkoff investments are hard at work too. Opening local and global markets for corn and corn-fed products, educating drivers on unleaded 88 as the best fuel at the pump, finding new uses for corn, and sharing the farmer's story. Iowa corn farmers are backed by researchers, educators, market experts, and more to keep corn growing Iowa.
Flu season is here, and your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you stay healthy. Get your flu shot at Hy-Vee today and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. You can get your flu shot anytime the pharmacy is open. No appointment necessary. That's right. Get your flu shot with no appointment necessary. Get your flu shot today and earn a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Only at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.
Let's be honest, we all like to be noticed. Picture yourself striding into Kinnick Stadium, radiating both style and comfort, while fellow Hawkeye fans can't help but ask, where'd you get that shirt? With pride, you point to the big screen and reply, it's Authentic Brand. Discover the remarkable difference that apparel with the Authentic Brand label brings. Ask for it by name at your favorite boutique, spirit shop, or retailer, or shop online at authentic-brand.com. It's time for a change in your style. It's time for Authentic Brand. Hawkeyes and Purdue, Big Ten football really revving up now as we get to the midway point of the season. Great to have you all here live in the audience tonight, and we have room at the bar for you. Please come on out to the View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn. Pioneer is proud to partner with Iowa and Nebraska for this year's Pioneer Heroes Game on November 24th, honoring local heroes who positively impact the community and stand as an inspiration to others. Pioneer proudly celebrating our local communities. Let's talk a little cross country, Hawkeye cross country. Of course, Joey Woody's done a phenomenal job at the program overall, and so has Randy Hassenbank, who is in the house tonight. Randy has been the head cross-country coach or cross-country coach at Iowa for a few years now, and man, what a great start. Seems like all of our teams have gotten off to great starts with the school year. Randy, in particular, junior Max Murphy, he shattered the men's 6,000-meter school record by nearly 13 seconds, breaking the tape in 17:57.7 at your own Hawkeye Invite over the Labor Day holiday. Congratulations, first off, and you got to be proud of Max.
We are. He's done a tremendous job for the program. I mean, you can go back a couple years. He's been setting records since he stepped on campus. Here in May, we haven't had a chance to even talk about that necessarily. He was recognized on the field the other day at the football game for his 2 runner-up finishes at the Big Ten outdoor meet. And he broke the 5,000-meter record by 10 full seconds, which was a fantastic record. He broke the school record in the 1,500 a year ago by 3 full seconds. So he's just done a fantastic job. And last Friday at Notre Dame, he was in the top 20 amongst a lot of nationally ranked individuals and teams over at Notre Dame University.
At the Joe Piani invite, there's a name famous in the Notre Dame annals of cross country and track and field. Max was 20th out of 147 runners, and you know this event, this invite is drawing the best from all over the country.
It is. That's been a meet. I've been at a couple schools through the years, and we've taken our teams to that meet, the Piani Invitational, and we've had some tremendous performances up at that place. It's a flat, fast course, and it probably favors the milers, guys that are just really fast. There's not a lot of hills and things like that for some of our grinders, but it's a great meet, and so Max showed out real well there for us.
Iowa has great tradition in cross country in particular, but track and field in general. We can go down the list of Hall of Fame type coaches, but why is that? Is it the high school feeder system? I know you're recruiting internationally now.
We are. You know, we've even hired a coach who's a Frenchman. You know, Coach Woody's turning over every stone to
keep
find
an
the best
eye out.
athletes. And so you asked about the Olympics. They're actually in Paris, France coming up. But
next summer, 2024.
Yep. Yeah, so we've got just a really aggressive coaching staff. The cross-country teams are primarily Midwest and Iowa kids, and that's always exciting. But we'll definitely look anywhere we need to look to find the talent to help us be successful, for sure.
And Joey Woody is a good point man, isn't he?
He is a great point man, and the program's blossomed under his leadership. He's done a great job. I'm starting my 8th year with Joey this fall, so it's been a lot of fun. I mean, just talking about track, the other day we had Longi Tasaga on the field, and she won the world championship in the discus, which is just amazing. She was a Big Ten champ, and I guess that wasn't good enough.
Saw Lala over at Kinnick Stadium Saturday.
Yep, well, she brought the medal with her, and everybody's getting photos of that thing.
Went nuts. And Max was there. You've also got a handful of really gifted sophomores that is the next generation of outstanding long-distance runner at Iowa.
Yeah, Will Ryan is from Dowling Catholic, and he had a great freshman year on the track, and he's obviously a guy we'll lean on here as we head into the postseason here in cross country. He ran 14:15 and made it to the USA Junior Nationals, and then advanced to Puerto Rico to the Pan Am Games and ran well and medaled there. Hayden Kuhn from Linmar is really talented as well. He qualified for 3 events to the USA Junior Outdoor. He only did one. He did the steeple, but he had a great spring as well. And so we'll lean on them. Miles Shepard, he's one of those guys that's just an absolute grinder. He doesn't necessarily show out on the fast courses like a Notre Dame, but you put a few hills in him and he is a different animal. And so he's a guy we got to have out there as we head back to Wisconsin. He had a phenomenal race at Wisconsin. We went up there and previewed the Big Ten course, and he ran really well for us there. So we're excited to go back with him in the lineup for sure.
Up next, before we talk about the schedule, I want to talk about the women because you've really developed a nice program there. Talk about the highlights for the gals.
Yeah, you've got the same name there that I wrote down on the top of the list, Amber Aslip. She's been amazing from Bishop Heelan High School and just
Sioux City.
Yeah, Sioux City, and she was a star in high school. I think helped them win a state title in soccer, cross country, and track, basketball, all of them. So she is phenomenal, and she's on our record board and a record holder in that distance medley relay. Great miler for us. She's not our strongest cross-country runner, but she's a really valuable runner in the fall. But she's led us a couple times this year already, so she's improved a lot in those longer races. Along with Amber, we've had a couple of sophomores, Jalissa Blazik from Turkey Valley High School, if anyone knows where that is.
Was at Jackson Junction, I think, isn't it? Turkey
way up
Valley?
There north, and
yeah.
She... Interesting stat, she qualified for the state track meet in the 100 meter and the 1500 meter, so incredible range. But she was our top runner the other day at Notre Dame, just a sophomore. And I would say Aaliyah Tempest from Johnston High School, a perennial power here in the state with women's distance running. She is just doing great. She had the best summer of all of our kids. She's our most improved at this point from year over year, so she's doing a great job jumping in up there in the lineup. And then we need to lean on our upperclassmen there. We've got several others, Brooke McKee, Kelly Tosick, and Abby Ryan. Abby Ryan's having a great season as well. So
your regular season concludes with the Bradley Pink Classic in Peoria coming up next week, October 13th.
Coming Friday, yeah.
What's that course like?
Flat as a pancake. It's fast. It's another
compared to here.
Compared to here, yeah. It's a relatively fast course, weather permitting, and so we'll have some good competition. It's usually a pretty deep field, so it'll probably look more like an NCAA regional with 30 or 40 teams versus the Big Ten that follows it up in a couple weeks with a smaller group 14 squad. So
the Big Ten championships in Madison on October 27th. I'm just going to assume the Badgers are as strong as ever.
They are the favorites there. I think as we talked in the break there, I think they've won 50 conference championships through the years. So
kind of like Indiana swimming.
Yep. And
or Hawkeye wrestling.
Iowa wrestling. Yeah. Put them up there with that. Yeah.
Randy Hassenbank with us for another minute or so. The training, how has it changed for cross country in particular?
It's pretty intense. You know, they're running the men, for instance, we've got 8 or 9 guys averaging for 16, 18 weeks, anywhere from 75 to 100 miles a week. So
wow.
They're all different. Some are suited for a little bit less. Some are going to be successful with a little bit more. And the women, it's anywhere from 35 to 65 as well.
Yeah. Have any of them ever run Ragbri? Not biked it, just ran it?
No, they probably could. It'd take a little longer.
I'm serious. I've always been enamored with cross country runners, long distance runners, because they're just ability to balance the oxygen, the intake, and the exhaling, and I mean, it's just what a pace.
Yeah, the ability to endure. It's just it's the training. I mean, you put in the hours and the miles like anything. You're going to continue to improve. They have a high ceiling. A lot of these kids have a very high ceiling. So,
well, we wish you the best going forward, Coach Randy Hassenbank. You've got the Pink Classic in Peoria, October 13th, and then the Big Ten Championships in Madison, October 27th. You've got time to taper, as they say, and get ready for those 2 big meets. So.
You got it. That's what we'll do. Try to get them healthy and get them all out there.
Great seeing you, man.
Thank you.
Take care, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Hassenbank, Hawkeye Cross Country, our guest here on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. We'll come back and talk more Hawkeye football in just a minute. Take some of your questions and comments. Coach Ferentz will be here in about 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll review last week's win over Michigan State. Look ahead to the Purdue Boilermakers. That's next. We're at View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn. Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield. Tractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
Whether you're building a backyard fence for your family's new best friend or firing up the excavator for your next commercial project, a free and simple call can save you from expensive fines and even save your life. Call 811 at least 2 days before you start your next project to have underground utility lines located and marked. At Mid-American Energy, your safety is our #1 priority. So, make it your priority to call 811 before you dig. Paid for by the customers of Mid-American Energy.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Hello, Hawkeye fans. This is Bruce Gerlman, and I own Jethro's Barbecue. Have you heard the news? It's really big news. Jethro's Barbecue is now open in Coralville. That's right, across from the Hawkeye softball diamonds on the Coralville Strip. Jethro's is your game day headquarters. Call ahead and order your tailgate barbecue from Jethro's. Before the game, during the game, after the game, stop in Jethro's and eat my amazing slow-smoked wings and my world-famous baby back ribs.
Bump's Restaurant in the Finkbine Golf Course Clubhouse is the place to go before Hawkeye football games. For just $35 per person, you can have an all-you-can-eat buffet that includes barbecue, upscale tailgate favorites, a carving station, and all the fixins in the friendly comfort of the modern clubhouse. A full bar, Bloody Marys, mimosas, and over 35 beers are available. Reservations made on Friday before 11 a.m. include free game day parking for one vehicle. Kinnick Stadium is a leisurely walk down Melrose Avenue, so make game day easy by parking and eating at Bump's. For reservations, call 319-335-9662.
Hawkeyes in Purdue at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. Gary Dolphin back with you at View Rooftop. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We've got a lot of homecoming influence here, a lot of current students, former students, and of course this is the week they come in from all over the country to enjoy homecoming. The alumni marching band, that's one of my favorite pieces to the homecoming weekend is listen to all those that are still spot on notes, haven't missed a beat in all those years, and the age runs the course from 25 to 95. So it's great to see everybody come back for homecoming. It's always a great treat. And Caitlin Clark and Spencer Lee will be the parade marshals on Friday afternoon. The parade starts around 5:45. It'll take the usual route here in downtown Iowa City. We'll talk more homecoming and, of course, Iowa-Purdue football in just a minute. But first, we need to step out, take a 10-second station identification break along the Hawkeye Radio Network. Station ID time stations. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. Iowa-Purdue at 2:30, 12:30 for the pregame show on Saturday. Of course, as we step back a few nights ago, Michigan State and the Hawkeyes, the clinching score, or at least the score that put Iowa ahead for good, was Cooper DeJean's 70-yard punt return. It's a good wobbly punt, but high enough. DeJean can return at the 30, 35, 40, midfield, still going, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 10, goal line, doorstep, touchdown, Iowa.
Yeah, it was a cool moment. My goal is is just to try to put the team in the best position to win, and that's when I get the ball in my hands, that's what I try to do. And luckily those guys were busting their tail for me to lay blocks out there. I mean, that's the first time I've returned a punt for a touchdown in college. I mean, that was pretty special moment. You got a lot of guys, busting their tail to spring me to the end zone. And I think everybody on that whole unit was excited. Jamari, he came and tackled me from behind into some police officer, I think, down in the end zone. It was a really cool moment for the whole unit, especially.
Cooper DeJean, I just love that extra gear he has. Two guys had the angle on him on that punt return, and he just hit fast forward and see you later. And he is a special player and a terrific young man from small town Iowa out there in Odebolt. And what about playing offense someday, Cooper?
I have not raised my hand. If it happens, it'll happen. Right now, I don't think that's the plan, but you never know.
I've never raised my hand. Cooper DeJean, he'll be prominent again against the Boilermakers on Saturday. Hawk fans, you can drive your team to a win this year by filling up with unleaded 88 with quick rewards at any Quick Star location. Fuel up with 8 gallons or more of unleaded 88 and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win great prize packages throughout the season. Quick Star, proud partner of Hawkeye football. I was talking about those Boilermakers earlier. Individually, they throw the football, but they also have had a lot of success running the football. Down through the years, they called it quarterback U with all those incredible pass throwers from Bob Greasy to Jim Everett to Drew Brees, the great Drew Brees, and even into the 2000s, Joe Tiller. His style of play was called basketball on grass. Joe never liked to run the ball much. He'd flip it out sideways, throw it down the field vertically, and they had great success. And now they've got a transfer quarterback in from Texas named Hudson Card. Came in from the University of Texas, and he grew up there in Austin. And he's thrown for 1,250 yards, completing 64% of his passes, 5 touchdowns. He has been picked off 3 times. He's thrown an 84-yard strike, so the Hawkeye defense will be very cautious to not let anything get behind them this weekend. And guess who their lead running back is, the top tailback for Purdue? It's Tyrone Tracy. That Tyrone Tracy that was here at Iowa just a couple years back. Tyrone transferred out, went to Purdue, and he has flipped over from wide receiver or slot receiver to tailback, and he's very capable at both positions. But he's averaging 6 yards a carry. He's rushed for about 300 yards, 5 touchdowns with a long at 24. So that Iowa run defense will have to be aware of where Tyrone Tracy is, but they have a number of guys that have really done well in the run game. Devin Maccabee, I remember him from a year ago, came in as a widely heralded freshman recruit. He's now a sophomore. He's averaging 4 yards a carry. And Dylan Downing, the senior from Carmel, Indiana, he's been hanging around a few years. He averages almost 5 yards a tug. So they've got weapons at both ends in the passing game as well as the run game. Purdue always has outstanding tight ends, and Garrett Miller is the number 1 guy this year at 6'5", 250. But they've got a busload of wide receivers. Deion Burks has 20 catches. TJ Sheffield, there's a name you'll remember from a year ago. He has 18 grabs on the year. Abdur Yassin has 24 catches. He leads the team in pass receptions. They've got a number of options they can go to. Defensively, Purdue's always been known for its hard-hitting safeties. They've got a couple guys, Marcavius Brown and Sanusi Kane in the back end. They run they'll typically rush 4, but they rush 3 quite a bit, and they'll bring a linebacker up on the line of scrimmage. You've seen that act before, but they've got good, active, fast linebackers. It's a Purdue defense that is giving up around 28 points a game. So hopefully the Iowa offense will have some success, especially in the passing game. Purdue's given up a decent amount of yardage on average in the pass game, but they score points. So you've got to score points to take out the Boilermakers. Those are some of the names Coach Ferentz will want to review with when he gets here. And again, on Twitter or Facebook, you can reach us on Twitter at Voice of the Hawks, on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. Hudson Southside Tap is your Hawkeye Game Day headquarters. Savor $6 house Bloody Marys at Hudson's Southside Tap. Catch the Hawkeye Radio Network post-game show right after home games. Michelle Altmaier will be at Hudson's Tap on Saturday. We'll be checking in with Michelle as we roll through our post-game show. Feel the Hawkeye spirit at Hudson's on Highway 1 West in Iowa City. And go Hawkeyes. We'll go away for a minute and then come back. Hopefully Coach Ferentz is here by then. This is Hawk Talk from View Rooftop in Iowa City in the Hilton Garden Inn from Learfield.
Hi, this is Hawkeye coach Kirk Ferentz. My players know that success is not a given, but with hard work, there are no limits. For years, Iowa farmers have believed in that too. Farmers are the backbone of this country, and their dedication to bringing us food and energy has never been more important. That's why we're proud to wear the America Needs Farmers logo on our helmets. Join the Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau as we celebrate farmers during the A&F game on October 21st. For more information and to win tickets to the game, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford Tough Trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with the University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Kirk Ferentz. We work hard all year long to have the best season possible, just like Iowa's corn farmers do. At the University of Iowa, we celebrate our student athletes as well as our state's corn farmers. For all of us, it's the same. When you put in the hard work and give it your all, great things happen. Want to support Iowa's corn farmers? It's easy. Buy corn-fed meat, dairy, and eggs. Fill your cup with safe drinking water right from the tap and fuel your vehicle with homegrown unleaded 88. Let's go Hawks.
We've got the head coach of the Hawkeyes alongside Kirk Ferentz on Hawk Talk with the head coach, live from View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn. Hard to believe we're halfway at the halfway point of the season, but we are indeed. We got, of course, it's homecoming week. See a lot of familiar people, longtime supporters of the Hawkeyes here tonight. The Eckhoff annual family reunion is going on over here. Welcome. They come from all over the country. Dory, of course. May she rest in peace. She was here every week at your show, Coach, and I know how much you enjoyed her.
Absolutely, and it's going back a few years, actually. So, yeah.
That goes back to the Carlos O'Kelly's days.
Exactly right.
Southeast side of town. And the McCords are here, Jim and Darlene.
Great to see them as well.
Great to see them and others. We'll get to a few names before we head out for the evening. But, welcome. Great win on Saturday with Michigan State. They're always a tough out, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. We've had great games with them typically over the years. And, two things. I mean, first of all, it's just great for our team to get up off the mat and get back in the fight. And then there was certainly anybody who was at the game. There's nothing easy about winning that game. It was just really a tough, hard-fought game. You endure some injuries, and then second half, I mean, we couldn't have done much worse to start it off. But the guys pulled together, rallied, and really had what it took in that fourth quarter. So just really proud of the way they fought through the adversity of the game, and again responded to a tough outing a couple weeks before that.
Tough situation for Deacon Hill to be thrown into, and I thought he handled himself very well.
Yeah, above everything else, just really pleased with his presence, his poise out there. It just that is a tough thing. It's league play, night game, and playing a really aggressive opponent. So, thought he did a really nice job of first of all just making good decisions. Again, I think just his poise, his didn't get rattled by anything, and he had one mistake, and that was it was a tough play. I won't get into all the details of it, but he kept playing after that, and just did a really nice job for us.
And Deacon says, getting reps, and you hear every player say this, every position player, but getting reps, the key now going forward.
I've grabbed Nico, Vines, Seth, all of them. We've gotten, after each practice, gotten some throws in. I think I'm throwing 30, 40 balls to Vines after every practice so far this week, and we'll continue to do it the rest of the week. So I think just getting reps with each other is the biggest thing.
And Deacon loves that deep throw.
Yeah, I think my favorite throw is a deep ball. I think most people on the team can tell you that. But it's just my job to get the ball to our better athletes. I wouldn't consider myself a better athlete on the team. And so my job is just to distribute it to our guys like Eric, Nico. Those guys are athletic freaks. So getting them the ball is the biggest thing.
He's very modest, but for 6'3", 255 pounds, he moves pretty well, and I know he's got a rocket for an arm, but his decision-making, I thought, again, given the situation, all of a sudden, you've talked about it, you're one snap away from getting in the game, and he experienced that Saturday night, and I thought he handled it well.
Yeah, I think the credit there, first of all, he's realistic also, because I don't think anybody would mistake him for Mahomes in terms of his style of play. And you got to know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and one thing he can do, he can throw a football. And the thing we didn't know is what was his reaction, demeanor going to be, all those kinds of things. And again, that's really what I'm really most impressed with. And then the other thing that came very apparent, we recognized him on Sunday in the team meeting, and even in the locker room afterwards recognized him, and his teammates are really for him. Like he's very popular with them. And little sidecar, he hasn't played 21, 22, so this is 23. Senior in high school in 20, in the COVID era in California. So you can only imagine what high school football in California in 2020, their whole state was just basically off the rails. So as I understand, it's kind of like a wildcat team, if you will. It really wasn't sanctioned by anybody, so I don't know if that counts as real football either. And but for him to stick with it the way he has, and he's been great since he joined us. He's just been a great young man in our program, and happy to see him have success. It was well deserved and well earned.
Of course, this all materialized given the season-ending knee injury suffered by Cade McNamara. I mean, boy, your heart just goes out to Cade. He's worked so hard to get back from the previous knee surgery. Then he has the quad stretch, the soft tissue deal to start the year. And now this. It's the old story. If you didn't have bad luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all. But his attitude is, and you know him a lot better than I do, but his attitude I've always been impressed with. And he says he's coming back next year.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the date of his injury a year ago was, but since that time, it's been nothing but tough breaks for him. And going back to August 12th, that date I do know. It's etched in my mind where he face planted in Kinnick. And then, to have this happen, it's just really disheartening because he was just starting to, maybe get back to form where he could start to move a little bit and look like the quarterback, that he is when he's healthy. And then have this happen. And it was a non-contact deal. It's just, I don't want to say the nature of what we do, but it does happen, and it's just really unfortunate. And I've said it a million times. It's it hurts the team. Anytime a player gets hurt, it hurts the team, but more so are the individuals affected. And Cade's put a lot of hard work and rehab time into his last injury. To see it the season end this way for him is really tough, but he's been great. Out of practice every day, great attitude, and he's still 100% invested in helping the other guys.
Well, we wish Cade the best. The Hawkeyes now without Cade, and of course the outstanding tight end Luke Lachey. You've also been missing a couple of your primary running backs, and Jazz Patterson and Caleb Johnson. What's the update with those two?
Yeah, I really hadn't noticed any of those injuries at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. But no, the good news is. Start with Caleb. He worked this week, so I think he's going to give it a go. We'll see, but I think it's realistic to think that he might be able to play. Jazz is probably a week or two away still, and anybody we can get back would be great. We're not, you can't count on that, but you just have to. Whenever they appear, and Mother Nature's got a lot to do with that. Our medical staff does a great job, so. But there's just something you have to work through. But it'd be great to get Caleb back, and anybody else that can join us, that'd be a great thing. So hopefully we'll just keep pushing forward there.
Well, we'll talk about Cooper DeJean, and I thought Quinn Schulte had a great game. Your secondary in general had a terrific game. But how about Drew Stevens? I mean, he comes into action this week, and he's 8 of 9. In point after tries, near perfect as he always is. He is field goals. He had 3 the other night, if memory serves me correct. He's just steady Eddie and has been since he matured through that first year and got a feel for it. He's a different personality, but I really like the way he handles himself. But boy, his toe has been spot on. His kickoffs, forget about returning any of them.
Yeah, the most amazing part in my mind is just where he's come from. Because last spring he was, I don't want to say it was terrible, but it was just, it would have been hard to envision last spring ball a year ago that he would be as successful as he's been. And I think that makes the story even better because it tells you that he went back to work and has worked extremely hard. He had a great year last year, and he's off to a great start right now. And he's only a second-year player, but you think of him as somebody older than that just because of his consistency. So he's done an unbelievable job, and he deserves all the credit that you can give just because he's done it through hard work.
I was right the first time. I was misreading my own stat sheet here. He is 8 of 9 field goals, a long of 53, and perfect 11 of 11 in point after tries. And everybody thinks the PATs are automatic. They're not.
Yeah, they're not. And what's the career on? Was that 3 misses now, career-wise?
Let's see here. Career-wise, he's 24 for 27 in his career.
That's 3, right?
Yeah, that's 3.
Sometimes I get it right, and I'm not a big stat guy, but that's one that I've kind of been impressed with because that's pretty good. And those have not all been 10-yard field goals or anything like that. He's really hit some clutch stuff for us and
several game winners.
Yeah, I mean it's just he's a really outstanding performer. Just really so happy for his success.
And then your punter, he's not too bad either. He averaged about 49 yards on 7 boots the other night, and he just continues to be. Talk about steady Eddie. Torrey Taylor is all that and more.
Yeah, to have a good punter is something that's a luxury at him. I think it really is. You appreciate that, and then the way he's been playing this year, I would say he's more than a good punter. He's just been outstanding. So it's good to see him, his experience, and all those things paying off his hard work. Same thing as Drew. Both these guys are really dedicated. They are very serious about how they go about their work and what they do. And then the other thing I've been so impressed with Torrey, he's on the player console, and he is totally invested in the entire team, not just the specialist group. So obviously he's one of our older guys, but he is just he's a really good teammate. Been outstanding in terms of his commitment to everybody, and just appreciate that aspect as well as the great job he's doing out there on the field.
Speaking of consistency, what is it that impresses you? One or two items, bullet points about the Iowa defense that just continually gets out there and gets the job done from all different positions.
Yeah, it's a team effort. Certainly, it's a team effort, and to think about some of the guys that we lost, and then guys stepping in and filling in roles, and We cheated a little bit at corner because, you lose Riley, but we had Jamari, who had played 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like he was a pure new guy. But Deshaun Lee stepped in those first 2 games and did a great job. And then the other guy, Jay Higgins, has just done a great job. And we kind of saw that one coming a year ago, the way he was improving and developing. And I can tell you one thing, he was sitting in the room with one of the best players I've ever been around, and Jack Campbell. So I would say a year later that he definitely was paying attention, and that's something I always encourage guys to do. Watch the older guys, watch the guys who are successful. What do they do on the field, off the field? Watch, and if you want to know how to be good, be like them. It's really pretty simple. And so it's just been a really collective effort by everybody. And we've given up yards, we've given up some big plays, but the most important thing is points, and that's done a good job in that regard. And the points that we've given up, people have had to fight for them and work for them.
Jay has just been fantastic, which I'm with you. It wasn't a surprise because he's played a lot, but now it's his turn. And Nick Jackson is the co-defensive player of the week in the Big Ten. He's got back-to-back double-digit tackle games, and it's a lot more than tackles, but he was all over the field, forced a huge fumble late. Yeah, and it's I think the award to me is representative of his. Now he's in week 4 instead of week 1 or 2, where it was new for him, and he didn't get to play in the spring. He played last year, obviously, but didn't get to play in the spring. But with each game, we have a different system, and we put a lot on our linebackers. Those 2 inside guys have a lot of communication and traffic they control. So it's not just like you walk over here and jump in this group and you're fine. He's really been learning on the run. Again, you're talking about a guy who's really mature, just really focused, really committed, and just he's a team-oriented guy too. So he's been a great addition. We thought he was when he agreed to come here. We were excited about it. We're more excited now. We've been around him on a day-to-day basis for a couple of months. He's just a first-class individual. I remember last spring when he couldn't play, you were raving about not only his size and physical attributes, but if Y.A. Black could ever get healthy, he was going to be a force to be reckoned with. And he certainly has proven that this fall, to this point anyway.
Yeah, fortunately, since we started in August, he's been able to be out there every day, and there's no substitute for just being on the field and practicing, learning your trade, if you will, your craft. And there's a lot that goes into it, and there's no easy way other than repetition, and at some point you got to get on the field and actually do it.
Coach, before we go to a break, staying with the defense, I was served notice here tonight before I got, just as I was coming in the door, really, that the NCAA is re-examining the penalties that current.
How about that?
Yeah, imagine that current athletes are facing for betting on sports, but not their own team, and they're considering moving toward no suspension, no loss of time if it's the first offense and you weren't betting on your own team. And, of course, you know where I'm going with this, Noah Shannon.
I figured you might be going that direction.
You've been at the pulpit a couple times on this show this year. So my question is, since this just broke today, at least first time I'm looking at it, what's next in terms of Noah Shannon in particular? You've appealed.
I can't help myself, but I'm gonna go down the rail again here. So you would think since we had this breakthrough revelation that maybe we could act on it in the next couple days, have an emergency meeting, whoever's got a console, the rubber stamp, all this stuff. You think it might be something they could address in the very near future.
Right now.
But I realize we're all busy too. I get that. My first response was happiness, because I just hope it does go through. And I hope Noah gets to get on the field this year, because it would be so well deserved. And then, the other side of me said, could this have maybe taken place somewhere in May, June,
July?
July, any time before the season actually started and somebody's life was impacted. And I just, what you get a little upset about, we're on the front line, and I can't speak for Noah's parents. What they've gone through, what he's gone through. And I think in a very undeserved fashion. I'm just, I've said it and I'll say it over and over and over. And it's just it's just such a waste of emotion, investment. It's unfair. And I think that's, the problem with bureaucracies. Now, the good news is at least we're getting a response here. Like, somebody's alive over there and paying attention, but it just would have been. It would have been great if it was sooner. But if we get anything out of this, if there's a break and a good break, then that's a positive. I'll look at the positive side, but I guess here, let me put an optimistic spin on it. The fact that this is alive again and maybe will be addressed, at least maybe in the future, it's an indication that we're going to start being a little more responsive and really think about the constituents that are impacted, and then also try to be a little more timely and a little bit more reactive to what is going on in today's world. And today's world's changing fast, at least in our world, so I understand why people can't keep up with it. It's a day-to-day chore, but it's also people's jobs, and if I gotten in trouble yet or not, we'll see.
No, you're doing fine. Keep going. What the heck? Burn some clock.
Let's go.
So I'm going to assume then that nobody called you today.
Not directly, no. They don't have to. Just call the kid and tell him, hey, you're
Well,
you're
we're
okay.
6 games into the season. I mean, the window is closing.
It's a better deal for winter sports or spring sports, and I'm happy for anybody who's affected by that. Again, if we're talking about Noah's situation, where he was, as far as I know it, he was extremely upfront, very transparent about everything he had done, did nothing criminal. And he did bet on a basketball game, I think, and I just don't think that's a capital crime. I guess maybe I'm a little naive. And I know rules are rules. I've heard that before, and the policies are policies, but sometimes a little, common sense and judgment goes a long ways.
Here's what Nicole Auerbach, who at least that's where I saw the story with Chad Leistikow at the Des Moines Register and I were talking earlier tonight. Specifically, the committees will review penalties for student athletes who participate in sports wagering but not on their own teams. The council reaffirmed the significant penalties continue to be appropriate for wagering behaviors that potentially compromise the integrity of contests, including wagering on a student-athlete's own team. Well, we already know that Noah didn't do that, so we can hope for the best and hope for the best in a short time frame.
Yeah, and I hope I have no idea how many other athletes are in the same exact circumstance. So
sure.
It's great news for each and every one of them. And I can only imagine, I've witnessed, and the pain I'm feeling for Noah is, like a small percentage of what he's going through. And so, a lot of kids got impact. I assume a lot. I don't know how many. I don't know. Well, and that's the whole other side story is like, how is it 2 schools out of however many play
350?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, that's kind of stupid too. But anyway, hey, if it's something good comes out of it, then it's been a great day.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Speaking from the heart. With that, we'll come back with Kirk's keys to the game, courtesy of Club Car Wash, to a victory over the Purdue Boilermakers, and we'll go right to Facebook and your Twitter post. That's next from View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn here on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Hi, this is Hawkeye coach Kirk Ferentz. My players know that success is not a given, but with hard work, there are no limits. For years, Iowa farmers have believed in that too. Farmers are the backbone of this country, and their dedication to bringing us food and energy has never been more important. That's why we're proud to wear the America Needs Farmers logo on our helmets. Join the Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau as we celebrate farmers during the A&F game on October 21st. For more information and to win tickets to the game, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
Bump's Restaurant in the Finkbine Golf Course Clubhouse is the place to go before Hawkeye football games. For just $35 per person, you can have an all-you-can-eat buffet that includes barbecue, upscale tailgate favorites, a carving station, and all the fixins in the friendly comfort of the modern clubhouse. A full bar, Bloody Marys, mimosas, and over 35 beers are available. Reservations made on Friday before 11 a.m. include free game day parking for one vehicle. Kinnick Stadium is a leisurely walk down Melrose Avenue, so make game day easy by parking and eating at Bump's. For reservations, call 319-335-9662.
Whether you're building a backyard fence for your family's new best friend or firing up the excavator for your next commercial project, a free and simple call can save you from expensive fines and even save your life. Call 811 at least 2 days before you start your next project to have underground utility lines located and marked. At Mid-American Energy, your safety is our #1 priority. So, make it your priority to call 811 before you dig. Paid for by the customers of Mid-American Energy.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I thank you.
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz rolls on here from View Rooftop, the top of the 12th floor at the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Iowa City. They'll be frolicking and rollicking this homecoming weekend. They invite you to come on down to View Rooftop, and if you don't have a ticket to the game, enjoy it here on their big flat screens. Tune in the Hawkeye Radio Network. At the Hilton Garden Inn View Rooftop, 2:30 for the kick, 12:30 for the pregame coverage on Saturday. View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn features a distinctly modern escape filled with a unique outdoor design. Open all day on Hawkeye football game days with tailgate specials. View Rooftop provides a high-energy, memorable experience with food, music, and fantastic views of the Iowa City skyline. Call 319-519-4650, 519-4650, and set up your View Rooftop reservation tonight or first thing tomorrow. We were talking earlier about Quinn Schulte. He had one of Iowa's handful of tackles for loss the other night, a -8 yards. And Quinn was talking about the Purdue offense at the weekly presser yesterday with their new coach, Ryan Walters, a former defensive coordinator.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, than it's been the past couple of years, but certainly they've haven't left talent to be able to run and pass the ball. And so, it's going to be a difficult task for us and a challenge, and, we just have to come ready to go.
Schulte's had a terrific year. He also visited about being good on first and second downs to avoid third down.
Yeah, you definitely have to be good on first and second down, so you're not in those, third and short situations, trying to get them back in third and long, scenarios, which really makes it tough on them. And, if we can stay in those and try to get off the field on third down, then it's good for us.
Quinn Schulte, another former high school quarterback. You like those quarterbacks, especially in the back end of that secondary. You've got 4 or 5 on the defensive side of the football, and Sebastian Castro, we've talked to him about playing that position. He said you see it a little different when you played quarterback in high school, particularly at solid programs like these guys come from, because they can almost get right inside that helmet of the quarterback, the opposing quarterback.
Yep, Sebastian comes from a great program, and then obviously with Q, his dad's done an unbelievable job up at Xavier, and just first-class program all the way. So, and all you got to do is spend 2 minutes with Q, and it's pretty evident he's a serious guy. First of all, very serious. Secondly, very focused and very intelligent, and that's how he plays. And he's also emerged as a really strong team leader. So, just everything about him's great. And you mentioned Sebastian. You get older guys like that have been in the program and they study, and Phil does a great job coaching secondary players anyway. But they just really appreciate the mental edge that can be gained if they'll invest the time. And both of those guys have done it.
Well, let's roll into our Club Car Wash keys to the game, courtesy of Coach Ferentz. And Club Car Wash with unlimited memberships starting at just $20 a month. There's no better time to join the club. Visit clubcarwash.com and find a location nearest you. Coach, they're very balanced. Purdue's been known to throw the football all over the yard, which they've done down through the years with all those great quarterbacks. But they're much more balanced run to pass this year.
Yeah, it's a little more. It's a change up, if you will. Purdue's always been an offensive-oriented program. At least it seems like that forever. They're very impressive. They're very different. They're a tempo team, and but they do a great job, I think, in the run game. Their line is extremely well coached and well coordinated, and they're very veteran up front. They've got a lot of older guys and experienced guys, good size. But I'm impressed with the way they play together, and they don't have a lot of schemes, but the ones they do, they run very well. They have the ability to throw the football, and quarterback is a run threat as well. It's kind of like last week. So if you don't honor that puts a little pressure on you. And as I mentioned, they're a tempo team. So I think really as you look at it, always avoiding the big play, defending the big plays. Everything starts there. And then, in my opinion, at least with a tempo team like this, you can't let them just start getting momentum. Let it get rolling downhill because it gets really hard, and they have the ability to do that because they execute. It's anytime a new staff comes together, it's always curious to you're always interested to see how things come together, and you would never know the staff just started last spring because they. It looks like everybody's on the same page, and they do a lot of good things. So I think not letting them get momentum, not letting them gain inertia as the drive is going on, and just having to realize that you got to play team defense because there is that run pass threat at all times.
How about this quarterback, Coach? They've got a lot of new faces, a lot of moving parts. I mean, they're settling in now. They're halfway through the season. But Hudson Card transferred in from the University of Texas. He's a local kid from Austin. He's thrown 5 touchdowns. He's been intercepted 3 times, but I imagine a lot of those came early in the season.
Yeah, I think, and that's the story of their team. They didn't look as impressive the first couple of weeks, but now the last couple of weeks they're starting to put it together. And I alluded to the changing world of college football, and quarterbacks moved around a little bit. Even 10 years ago, we had a couple guys go other places, do very, very well. But now it's almost, I'm not going to say common practice, but it's not uncommon to have a transfer quarterback come in, and it's interesting to me. Just looking around, it seems like a lot of the ones that have transferred are all doing very well. So what it tells you is wherever they're at, they hit 2 good ones, or for whatever reason they went to a different school. But Card's been a really good addition for them. They lost a really good quarterback last year, and they did a nice job of locating a guy who can really operate in this offense, and he looks very comfortable doing what they're asking him to do. And as I mentioned, he'll run the ball as well as throw it.
And there's Tyrone Tracy at tailback, one of 3 solid backs that has been putting up terrific numbers. He's an Indianapolis youngster. He was a Hawkeye for a couple of years. Good to see him having some success.
Yeah, something old, something new. So Card's new, obviously, and I'm looking at Downing's name. I feel like he's been there. He and number 31 have been there, I swear to God, for 10 years. Tough runners, and Maccabee's done a really good job. I believe he's a walk-on. I think I read that correctly, like 2 years ago, or whenever he started playing. I was like, who is this guy? A really good football player. And then Tyrone, wanted to be a receiver. He left here. We encouraged him to stay here and play running back, and he made that decision, which is, we totally understand that. And he's having a really good year. He's playing where he should be playing. Not that I'm in charge or anything like that, but I mean he fits right back there, and he's running the ball really well. Great confidence. And he can stop and go, make cuts, those types of things. So he runs hard, runs really hard, and he's playing on special teams. So he's having a really great year.
Averaging 6 yards a carry. I'm sure that hasn't been lost on you. And Ryan Walters, the head coach, he was Brett Bielema's defensive coordinator at Illinois before he left for West Lafayette and built his own program. What strikes you about his defenses? He's been at Missouri, now Illinois, and now head coach at Purdue.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting in that, if you think about the last couple of years, we were supposed to play against Missouri in the bowl game.
Yeah.
The one that got
COVID
vaporized there. And so he was the defensive coordinator. So that was our introduction to him. He did a great job at Missouri, obviously. And then next thing you know, he's over at Illinois. So we play him in 21 and 22. And now now he's moved on to Purdue and has done a great job in short time. But my point there is what we saw out of Missouri. It's not the same. They've tweaked it, improved it, etc. But a similar package, and it's a unique package as well. It's 5 down guys up front. You got to treat them like they're all down linemen because it basically are. A lot of man coverage. They'll put some zone in there, but a lot of man coverage, and it's tight coverage. And then their linebackers are effective getting to the ball, making tackles, and so it's a really unique preparation. There's going to be a lot of ugly plays, and I call them ugly. 3-4 yards, that type of thing. You got to be patient. You got to stay after it, and hope that at some point you can crack a couple and maybe find something good there. So you have to have some patience offensively, but it's a unique preparation. They've again done a really nice job transitioning, and their whole football team's playing well. Played with great confidence last Saturday.
I see they got another Karlaftis.
Yep.
It's got to be George's brother, I would assume.
Exactly, and He actually started last week. The starter's out, number 8's out, or was out, and I think he's coming back too, so I'm sure we'll see both of them. But he's done a really nice job.
And they run a quirky set or two on defense. They'll rush 3, but to your point, they'll rush 4. And they're going to send those backers a time or two to get after Deacon.
Oh, yeah. And I was going to mention, at times they'll bring everybody. Not everybody, but, they'll leave whoever they need to leave to cover and bring the rest of the guys. And so it's a mix-up. You really got to be alert. You got to be sharp, and you have to have good communication.
Kirk's Club Car Wash, keys to the game, courtesy of Club Car Wash for just $20 a month. There's no better time to join the club. You can visit at clubcarwash.com. You'll find a location nearest you. As a proud sponsor, U.S. Cellular is built for the Hawkeyes. They're built for great interceptions and better reception, watching touchdowns instead of touch screens, and waving before streaming. After all, game day only comes once a week. U.S. Cellular, built for us. When we come back on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz, we'll go right to Facebook and Twitter and see what's cooking there on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Kirk Ferentz. We work hard all year to have the best season possible, just like Iowa's corn farmers do. Please support Iowa's corn farmers by purchasing corn-fed meat, dairy, and eggs. Drink safe water from the tap and fuel your vehicle with homegrown unleaded 88. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Go Hawks.
We're back on Hawk Talk live from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City at the Hilton Garden Inn. Coach Ferentz, I'm Gary Dolphin, our engineer-producer Corey Sheets, doing a great job at the controls as usual. And I know you're a huge baseball guy, and boy, the playoffs are here with some new-look teams. Texas and the Twins ended an 18-game losing streak yesterday and eliminated Toronto tonight. It's good to see some of these other teams get a chance. I'm sorry, the Pirates. The Pirates aren't in there.
They didn't make
Maybe
it.
next
I don't
year.
think, right?
Yeah,
it's true confession. I've watched or paid attention to baseball I've had invested less in baseball than I probably have in my lifetime this year, and I can't tell you why exactly. But
you're a little busy.
This is fun. Like right now, it's fun when the playoffs begin.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'll definitely start peeking in a little bit and watching, and if we get time, at night tomorrow night, have an opportunity. So, I really don't care who's playing. I just playoff baseball is really good to watch, and if it's 2-0, I love it.
Yeah, October.
You got two good pitchers going. It's awesome.
Indeed, October baseball. All right, Kirk, let's go to Twitter. One I liked here is Coach, how do you talk to the quote-unquote backup quarterback who takes over at mid-season? I mean, particularly from an offensive perspective, fast going back. I mean, he's been practicing every day, practicing hard, getting reps, not as many as the starter. But I think what the question or what the Hawk fan is asking, you got to throw him in there. What do you tell him?
You do. Well, two things. Fortunately and unfortunately, he's gotten a lot of work with our first unit. The unfortunate part was due to Cade's injury back in August, so he couldn't really operate for quite a while. And Deacon took advantage of it, and that's a real credit to him. And then when it happens, you don't have a lot of time to really give too much advice or anything else because the play goes on. So we tried to sneak our center over. He and Logan got a couple snaps, and then in the game you go. But that's something we try to talk to our guys about at all positions. Like, you just never know when your time's going to come to be out there, and that's why you need to be paying attention. You need to be working on a daily basis as if you are going to start. And I think to Deacon's credit, he was ready to go, and he has invested, so he did a great job there. And now it's a little different because it's reality. It's in front of him, but he's had a good week of practice.
What were the Cody, by the way, asked that question. Good question. What are the important 1 or 2 points that you try to hammer into a guy as he's running onto the field, you and Brian?
Just play your position. You don't have to save the team, and just play your position, take care of your spot, and it's true at every position. Just do what you're supposed to do, and if you do that, that's where good things happen. And then if you're doing it and you're playing hard, that's usually how the big plays happen. It's not because I think I'll make a big play right now. It's just it's a byproduct of being sound, putting the grit effort into it, and sometimes a little luck is involved too. But it's we're just excited to have them going, and keep moving forward.
Jay says, Coach, this is on Twitter, slightly different offensive strategies this past week with many empty backfield sets. Is this something will be optimized more often, or was it done due to film study for Michigan State?
Yeah, some of it's week-to-week stuff. There's some advantages, obvious disadvantages too, but it depends on how your opponent's going to play it and what you think you might benefit from. So it's always been in the playbook, but last week we thought there might be some advantage of getting them out there a little bit and hitting some short routes, some quick screens, things like that, and just try to find a way to move the ball a little bit.
Tim, Coach, before we take a break here, what factors go into deciding to take the ball or defer if you win the toss? That's come up before.
Yeah, part of it's superstition. I hate to admit that, but things that stick with you. It's kind of stupid, but as a rule, I'd rather take the ball. As a rule, if the weather's a factor, then that's something you have to consider. But as a rule, that's kind of the way we go. But as you know, there have been games where we just decided to defer, and either way, you just never know. Because if you don't win the toss, you don't have a choice anyway.
We'll take a break, come back, and wrap up this week's show with Coach Ferentz. Homecoming week, Iowa, Purdue, and we're brought to you by Iowa Corn and the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series, promoting honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. Iowa's corn farmers salute all athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like top athletes, Iowa's farmers lead the nation in corn and ethanol production. Follow Iowa Corn on Facebook and learn how corn grows Iowa. And we're sponsored tonight by Wellmark. The exciting moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for it all as your healthcare champion, making healthcare more affordable with more choices for care and peace of mind, no matter what comes your way. Find the plan right for you at wellmark.com/touchdown. Back with more here from View Rooftop in just a minute with Coach Ferentz. This is Hawk Talk from Learfield.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection, so dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to us mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Whether you're building a backyard fence for your family's new best friend or firing up the excavator for your next commercial project, a free and simple call can save you from expensive fines and even save your life. Call 811 at least 2 days before you start your next project to have underground utility lines located and marked. At Mid-American Energy, your safety is our #1 priority. So, make it your priority to call 811 before you dig. Paid for by the customers of Mid-American Energy.
Bumps Restaurant in the Finkbine Golf Course Clubhouse is the place to go before Hawkeye football games. For just $35 per person, you can have an all-you-can-eat buffet that includes barbecue, upscale tailgate favorites, a carving station, and all the fixins in the friendly comfort of the modern clubhouse. A full bar, Bloody Marys, mimosas, and over 35 beers are available. Reservations made on Friday before 11 a.m. include free game day parking for 1 vehicle. Kinnick Stadium is a leisurely walk down Melrose Avenue, so make game day easy by parking and eating at Bumps. For reservations, call 319-335-9662.
Does your company attire make you feel like you're always fourth and long? It's time for a change. Hand the ball off to Authentic Brand and watch your team transform into MVPs. On game days, our team dresses like champions in Authentic Brand. Ensure that your company's reputation remains untarnished by using nothing but the label specifically designed to display your company's identity. Ask your supplier for Authentic Brand products and see for yourself why it's more than just a label. It's a statement. Back with our remaining moments with Coach Kirk Ferentz and Hawk Talk. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight or joining us here at View Rooftop, downtown Iowa City. It's got that homecoming feel to it, Kirk. Young and old enjoying this week.
Yeah, it's amazing. We had a lot of people back last week as well to the game, and I'm sure we had a legacy event on Friday night, so I was part of it, I'm sure. But the whole town, I'm sure, will be really busy, and a lot of things happening this weekend, and that's great. And I guess festivities start Friday, I'm guessing, Friday night. So it's all good, and it's always good to play in Kinnick regardless.
Caitlin Clark and Spencer Lee are the parade marshals. That's not a bad choice.
That's a pretty good duo right there.
Couple Sullivan Award.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's a pretty good duo.
Eugene on Facebook, Coach, can you explain why a team can pass block better than run block? And what did you like about Deacon that made you want to pursue him?
Yeah, so let's start there. Deacon was up at Wisconsin, and John Budmeyer had actually recruited Deacon, so that was our connection. That was where we had the interest, and he was on his way to Fordham, of all places, so we're glad he joined us. He's been great since he joined us in January, and comes from a very athletic family, a couple sisters that are, I believe, polo players, water polo, and, so it's an athletic family, but he's been a great addition. And then, most teams, if a team's a passing team, they better be fairly proficient at pass blocking, or they better get the ball out quick, but everybody's got a little different style, different personality, and I wouldn't say one's easier to teach than the other. It's it just depends on the players.
All right, thanks, Ken. By the way, Cody on Twitter is the winner of our Authentic Brand Hawk Talk show merch box tonight. It's the brand we trust for premium game day looks and everyday styles. Authentic Brand, whether you're in search of a top-notch company-branded merchandise for your company employees, or apparel that proudly showcases your Hawkeye pride, ask your supplier or local retailer for Authentic Brand. Thank you to Clark and all the crew over at Perry, a great Iowa company. Get ready for game day by visiting authentic-brand.com. We're also sponsored tonight by Bumps Restaurant out at Finkbine on the campus. Score big on game day at Bumps at Finkbine. Bumps Restaurant. For just $35, you can enjoy an all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet, upscale tailgate favorites, and more. Sip on Bloody Marys, mimosas, and 35-plus beers. Make your reservations by Friday at 11 a.m. of game week for free game day parking just up the street from Kinnick. Reserve now at 319-335-9662. Back to Facebook for Coach Ferentz here in our remaining moments. Ken wants to know what you like most about Iowa's running attack and how you can take best advantage of it.
What we're going to do this week, I'm assuming?
Just in general, I think, is where he's coming from.
I got you.
You've got good depth this year.
Yeah, we do. And, we mentioned we had a couple backs out. So the two freshmen have both done a really nice job. Terrell and Kamari have both been really good young guys. They're going to get better as they go older and get a little bit more mature physically, but they've really done a good job. LeSean had a tough break at the start of the second half last week, but I thought in the fourth quarter he really ran tough, and we're going to need that moving forward. And the line is improving. They're growing. And, one thing affects the other, so just to have the combination of both would really be a good thing for us.
Chet says, Coach, are you concerned with the drop balls by the wide receivers? I don't know how many there were the other night, but you also got a guy throwing at a different speed, too.
Yeah, I think, maybe one or two are touch issues, but the bottom line is we got to catch the ball better. And everybody knows that, and nobody feels worse than the guys that did drop it. As Coach Fry used to say, they don't drop it intentionally and what have you. But, yeah, if we're going to get going offensively the way we want to, I always talk to our guys about making the makeable plays, and that's something that it all starts with. And then think about Eric All, then the way he finished the play. That's the other thing that you need to do. At some point you got to finish a couple plays too, and that's just a lot of times just extra effort.
Nick, you knew this was going to come up, Coach, on Facebook. Nick, how much consideration has there been to changing the turf in Kinnick to natural grass due to studies showing the increase in injury rate, including ACL tears, on artificial turf? I guess I missed that study.
Yeah, I missed it too, but it's the second time this week it's come up. So
really?
maybe somebody. I can only tell you about what I've witnessed and what I see. And I in fact, it was shortly after I heard that. I was watching. I won't say who it was, but a player on another team who had a knee injury and was on grass, natural grass. So me personally, I think it's kind of highly overrated, only because the turf products now are so much better than they used to be. And a lot of times they're better because they're more consistent, and I think there's something to be said for that too. But injuries are part of the game. It's unfortunate, but they're part of the game.
It is. It's and this was not a contact injury. Now, granted, whether the turf or natural grass would or would not have caused Cade's injury, it's hard to pinpoint.
And I can't give you a percentage, but I can tell you just the ones I've witnessed the last decade have been more non-contact. And it used to be they were all contact, but now it seems to be a lot more non-contact guys making cuts or plants.
We got about 30 seconds, Coach. Real quick, Jeremy wants to know, Drew, do the Boilermakers have an explosive player this year? Rondale Moore, David Bell, Charlie Jones. I don't know.
Well, I hope I never see Bell again unless it's on TV playing for I think he's with the Browns. So, that guy, we just could not cover him for whatever reason. But, the first guy I'd say, Tyrone's been playing very well. Tyrone Tracy and Maccabee's guy we got a lot of respect for. They've got a good group of receivers, and their tight ends are very, very dangerous players.
TJ Sheffield's been around a few years.
He has, yeah.
He's solid.
He sure has.
Okay. Kirk, thanks so much for your time as always. We'll look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Gary.
Coach Ferentz, and thanks to View Rooftop for hosting us again this week and every week here on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. 12:30 for pregame coverage on Saturday, 2:30 for the kick. Eddie and I will greet you then. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Good night.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. Hawk Talk has been brought to you by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Your local Ford dealers, Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and Iowa Corn Promotion Board. You may think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa football. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Also brought to you by Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. By University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Cellular, built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular, Built for us. Iowa Farm Bureau, who would like to remind you to support America's farmers. Check out americaneedsfarmers.org. And by Authentic Brand. The label you wear makes a difference. Step up your game day looks and everyday style with Authentic Brand. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.